Woo! What's going on, guys? Orange Form coming to you guys today with another video. In today's video, talking about some free agent frenzy going on. Your boy is a little bit behind again, but that's the way it goes. I'm here just to talk about it, not break it to you. So, hey, we signed some beef up front, man. We brought back a familiar face coming back to Motown, former Michigan Wolverine guard, Graham Glasgow. 30 years old, going to be 31 in July. Signed him to a one-year deal, $4.5 million. Kind of on a prove-it deal again, bringing over some veteran help over here. A former Detroit Lion, obviously, played at Michigan Wolverines, like I said. We drafted him in the third round back in 2016 out of Michigan. 6'6", 310 pounds. Played left guard, played right guard, played center in Detroit. He kind of took over Laken Tomlinson back in the day when Laken was struggling, and that's when he was pretty much a rookie. And then he took over for Travis Swanson, who used to be our center, and then even stuck around at center when we drafted Frank Ragnow, and that moved, I believe, Frank Ragnow to left guard. So he kind of, until Frank got a little bit acclimated to the NFL. And then, Frank's been our mainstay at center for a while. And he came in with Taylor Decker. I think they were drafted in the same draft class, if I can remember that. And he's played with Frank, obviously, for a couple of years. And then he played with Decker for 4. So 4 years in Detroit. Then they ended up getting rid of him. And I know a lot of people didn't want him gone. He was a pretty good guard, guard center. No all pros to his name, no Pro Bowls to his name, but he was pretty good in Detroit for the 4 years he was here. It was nothing special, but he was more of a road grader, a mauler. I thought he was always better in the run game. Wasn't the best, I thought, in passing situations as a pass blocking guard. But nothing bad. I think he's a good football player. And then he went on to a bigger contract in Denver, signed with the Denver Broncos to a pretty big deal, and he played there for 3 years. Banged up in Denver though. Started right away, obviously, and then he got banged up in 2021. Played a lot in 2022. I think he started every game in 2022. But his first couple of years were a little shaky in Denver, from what I can remember. But he started 91 out of 91 games that he was available. He has missed a few games, though. He did miss 14 games pretty much in his career, some from injuries, some just he wasn't really playing. He's had some injuries, like I said, ankle. He's been on the IR for his ankle. He had some knee, foot, shoulder, hip injuries as well, but nothing. He hasn't missed a ton of time, just that 1 year in Denver. He's extremely versatile, like I said, left guard, right guard, center. A smart player, pretty cerebral. That because he can play some center, so he can communicate very well. He's a good communicator. And do I think he's an upgrade at the guard position? I think he is, because he's a seasoned vet. He's a guy that's been around for a bit. He knows what's going on. Do I think he's an upgrade over Evan Brown? I probably would say yes. Evan Brown moved on to bigger and better things. He went on to Seattle Seahawks, signed a pretty decent deal there. Probably going to start over there in Seattle. But I think he's going to bring a lot of competition. Right now our right guard position is a little bit kind of up in the air. I think with what's his name, Halapula Vaitai. Can never say that name. Every time I try to mimic that name, it's so hard to say. Let's just call him Big V. But obviously our starters are Jonah Jackson at left guard, and then we got Big V at right guard as of right now. And I think Glasgow brings some vet presence and some good backup material. He's going to right now be a backup, and he's going to be some competition. Like, who knows where Big V is going to be ready coming when camp starts. It's not too long. Camp's going to start, so it'll be coming in a few months. So it's a good player to have. You know, we still got guys like Logan Stenberg, Darren Paulo at left guard. You don't really want to see those guys in the game right now. Logan Stenberg could be a camp cut. Could be one of those guys that gets a camp cut. Darren Paulo has kind of been a guy that's been in and out of camps pretty much his whole young career. Then you got Graham Glasgow and Coyote Iwosika. You know, we saw Iwosika a little bit at right guard this year, a little bit at guard wherever they put him, and he wasn't that great. So Glasgow brings a little bit more experience and vet presence to the situation. And then we ended up signing Ross Pierschbacher, who's going to be the backup center, and Glasgow's got experience at center as well. And then it's just he's a good vet presence, like you know he's got the chemistry down with Decker, and you know he's got the chemistry down with Ragnow. So you don't really have to worry too much about that situation, which is going to be really good. He was penalized a lot in Denver last year, though. He was up there in the penalties, one of the top guys getting penalties, and he was average as a run and pass blocker too. So, you know, Denver was a pretty bad team last year. You know, everybody thought, including myself, that Denver was going to be a really good football team last year when Russell Wilson went over there, and it turned out to be the exact opposite. They struggled a lot on offense, and the O-line was a lot to do with it. And you know, not blaming it all on Glasgow, obviously, but you know, their O-line was a situational problem for the Denver Broncos last year. So, you know, but you know, we brought him back. He's a familiar face. People know him. He was a fan favorite. He was a fan favorite, obviously, because he went to Michigan, and he's here on a cheap 1-year deal at $4.5 million, and he's the oldest guy in the room now out of the whole team. He's 30 years old. He's gonna be 31 in July, so he's up there. But the big fella's back. You know, I think he's more of a backup right now in this situation. He doesn't fix the right guard problem, but I think he's a slight upgrade over Evan Brown, and who could be a guy who could push for starting gig. He's been a starter pretty much his whole career, Graham Glasgow, and I don't see why he couldn't push Big V at all in this situation. I still think they're going to draft a guard. I really don't think this takes guard out of the situation, even in round 1. I really got that man crush on Osiris Torrance from Florida. I like him a lot. He could be a guy they grab at 18. I don't know. Just a guy that I like a lot, and could learn under guys like Glasgow, and possibly, you know, well, I think I still have a feeling Vaitai is going to get cut or is going to get restructured. I've heard a lot of people saying that Vaitai has already restructured, but I don't think he has. The only players I think have restructured so far are Tracy Walker, the safety, and Charles Harris, I believe, restructured too, the defensive end we picked up a couple years ago. So I heard nothing about Big V. I heard there's talk about Big V probably restructuring, but I've also heard he could be a camp cut. So I think we still are a little bit slim coming up on this guard situation, and I think it needs to be. I think it needs not need to be fixed, but it needs to be addressed. It needs to at least be addressed. So I think we brought a good one in. We brought a beast of a man at 6'6", 310 pounds, and he's a former Michigan guy. You know, and it's a decent 1-year signing. You know, he can back up for right now, or when we're in a starting gig, and that's it, guys. Graham Glasgow back in the building. You know, the 8-year vet. So let's hopefully it works out. And as of right now, I believe he's a backup. What do you guys think about it, though, guys? You guys think Glasgow could be the guy, or what's up with that? But thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget the notification bell. Get all my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and let's hopefully Glasgow can be the guy. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. One pride, go Lions. Boom.